This is an ACU Centre for Liturgy podcast. Speaking of liturgy. The grace and dignity of an altar server enhances the beauty and reverence of liturgical celebrations. Speaking of liturgy, Paul Briers, Honorary President of the Archconfraternity of St. Stephen, the International Guild for Altar Servers, reflects on the significance of the role of the altar server. He invites servers to make their outward actions an expression of their inner prayer.
You did not choose me, but I chose you. These words of John remind us that altar serving is a privilege and an honour. Any gift of the Spirit must be so. The Lord calls us in a quiet and unique sort of way. I had, from about the tender age of 8, entered my local church of Our Lady Star of the Sea with some friends. Not up to mischief, but curiosity getting the better of us. What a blessing to find the church open, what an impact it had for me. All I can say is a seed was planted. So imagine if the church had not been open. I did not come from a religious family, but my curiosity meant I was responding to something quite beautiful and profound, though I had no knowledge or understanding, but just a natural child's trust and confidence. I just felt at home. I wanted to know everything. I found myself naturally drawn to the beauty of the liturgy, and in particular, the Mass. At 13, I was fully initiated into the church. I was baptized, confirmed, and led to the Eucharistic table all in one evening. I fondly recall my parish priest at the time saying that I had haunted the church for 5 years. Soon after, I was asked to serve. I was not expecting it, to be honest, but I found myself saying yes, and was incredibly excited and very nervous. I have now been serving for 31 years, and in my final year of formation for the permanent diaconate. What a journey it has been. I took on my first parish master of ceremonies role when I was 18 and built up a team of 45 servers. But it wasn't just the motions of serving I was focused on. It was the prayer and spiritual formation of the team and their families. Prayer and pizza nights were always a big hit, and I recall one moment that left me tearful, when a parent said to me that they had not been to confession for years, and at the Lenten prayer night they were drawn to the sacrament. Thanks be to God. My experience tells me that you cannot move things forward without the support of the parish and the parents. It is important that there is a sense of belonging, everyone involved. I found in the 2 parishes I have been MC that the largest youth movement has been the altar servers. I recall when visiting a parish, they were telling me they don't have young people coming to Mass. It's a shame. When Mass started, 5 young servers left the sacristy, processing to the sanctuary, and what a great job they did. There we go. There are the young, committed people. Why do people not see it? So what makes a good server that makes the Novus Ordo, the Mass, done well? Cardinal Newman, the 38th and newest doctor of the Church, saw the liturgy not simply as a ritual, but as an act of adoration. He believed that the primary purpose of worship is to give God the glory he is due. So from this, we can get an idea of what a good server should be like. Quiet, gentle, happy, ready to help, aware of their responsibility to everyone in the church. Servers are models of quiet dignity, not drawing attention to themselves, but helping all to focus on Christ. The Mass is the very heart of the Church's life and mission, and it is where we encounter God, The Word became flesh, truly present on the altar. Servers must know that in every action they are helping to make the divine mysteries present on earth. Actions in the liturgy should be intentional and reverent, not rushed or theatrical, all the while paying attention to detail, which contributes to the beauty and order of the liturgy, and so is an expression of their love for God. We must never let our serving become a routine, but let our outward actions reflect our inward prayer. Humility. Serving the liturgy and not drawing attention. Preparedness. Knowing the Mass, not reacting to it. Reverence. Every action communicates belief. Consistency. The gestures done the same way. Stillness. Knowing when not to move. And when these are present, the Novus Ordo is prayerful and not busy, noble rather than casual, sacred rather than ordinary. Praying the Mass is key. It is good and proper to ensure everything is in its place and all is done properly and in a timely fashion. But from the moment we enter the church, to putting our cassock and cotters or albs on, to the lighting of the candles, to crossing the sanctuary and genuflecting, to taking up whatever role we have been asked to do, not distracting others, but joining in the prayers. For all is done in a spirit of humility and self-offering, for it is Jesus whom we serve. The priest and the faithful are all part of the body of Christ, so ministers serve the prayer of all who are gathered to worship. The general instruction of the Roman Missal stresses that servers should be properly trained and instructed to fulfill their functions with dignity and reverence, to enhance the quality of the celebration of the entire assembly. When servers are well trained and formed, they help the priest pray reverently. They help the assembly pray, making the different elements of the liturgy's structure visible and intelligible, making sacred actions clear through order, reverence, and restraint. They make the Mass feel intentional rather than improvised. Altar serving is a form of liturgical catechesis, teaching through action. In the introductory rites, when done well, leading the entrance procession with cross and candles, they establish a sense of solemnity, helping the congregation to move from ordinary time to sacred time, so to speak. During the Liturgy of the Word, the high point of which is the proclamation of the Gospel, the servers holding the candles either side of the priest or deacon highlight the special dignity of the Gospel, and by standing still and focused, eyes and posture indicate listening. Why? For Christ is speaking. The server's role becomes most visible during the Liturgy of the Eucharist, helping the faithful to recognize the sacred action of the consecration, especially when ringing the bells at the epiclesis, and with thurifer and torches kneeling on the altar steps, looking to the place where heaven joins to earth. Absolute attentiveness. This is the heart of the Mass. It is important that we want to be getting everything right, but it must not become a military operation with no adaptability to people's needs and to the flow of the liturgy. It must not be a performance where we act as if we know better or things should be done in a certain way, and then it becomes about us. Remember, we're responding to a call. These early years of serving form us into the people we are to become for the service He is calling us to undertake. He has created us for a special purpose. It could be the ministry or religious life. You could be taking on other ministries in the parish, like being a lector, reader, or choir member, or supporting community groups blended in with the married life or single stay, whatever it is. It is all meant to be. And we are called to give of ourselves and give generously of our time and talents in whatever situation or place we find ourselves. I truly find the charism of serving never leaves us. It only deepens. It is a lifelong adventure. And I'll leave you now with the words of St. Anselm. Teach me to seek you, and reveal yourself to me when I seek you. For I cannot seek you unless you teach me, nor find you unless you reveal yourself. Let me seek you in longing. Let me long for you in seeking. Let me find you by loving you, and love you in the act of finding you.
That was Paul Briers reflecting on the significance of the ministry of altar serving, inviting servers to deepen their understanding of the role and the service it entails. The ACU Centre for Liturgy, which provides pastoral formation in liturgy across Australia and beyond, is pleased to provide this podcast, Speaking of Liturgy.